Video is a quick overview of the AP European History test. We are going to be talking about the test format, the duration for each section of the test, how much different sections of the test are worth. We're going to be also talking about how the test is graded and what we need to do to adequately prepare to do well in May. The test is 3 hours and 15 minutes long, and it's broken up into two sections by a 10-minute break. The first section is broken up in parts A and B. Part A, you will be asked somewhere between 45 and 55 multiple choice questions. It depends on the year. There's a different amount of questions in a given year, but you will always have 55 minutes to answer the multiple choice section. That is worth 40% of the exam, making it the section of the test that is worth the most compared to any section out of all the sections of the exam. After the 55 minutes allotted for the multiple choice section conclude, you will be told to flip the booklet of your page. You are not to return to the multiple choice section, and you will move on to the short answer section, Section 1, Part B. Section 1, Part B involves you writing 3 short answers in a 40-minute time period, and this is worth 20% of the test. Now, the way the format of Section 1, Part B is structured is that there is an initial short answer question number 1, and you will write short answer question number 1. There will be short answer question number 2, and you will write short answer question number 2. Then you will have a choice. You will choose between short answer question number 3 or short answer question number 4. Out of short answer question numbers 3 and 4, you will have a choice. So, short answer question number 1, you will write. Short answer question number 2, you will write. Then you will choose for your third short answer question, you will choose between short answer question number 3 or 4. Sorry about that. Then there will be a 10-minute break. After the 10-minute break, Section 2 of the test will begin. This is 100 minutes long. It's sometimes referred to as the free response section. And in 100 minutes, you will complete 2 essays. There will be no distinction between Part A and B. You will simply be given 100 continuous minutes, and in that time period, you need to answer Section 2, Part A and B. Part A is the DBQ. It is recommended that you use 60 of the 100 minutes that you have to complete the 2 essay questions on the DBQ. Note that the DBQ is worth a considerable amount more than the LEQ, the long essay question, Section 2, Part B. For the DBQ, there will be 1 prompt and 1 set of documents, and only 1. So you will write on that prompt and on that set of documents, and all AP European test takers will have the same prompt and the same set of documents, and will be writing the DBQ accordingly on that 1 and only 1 question. That is worth 25% of the exam score, making it the second most valuable section on the test. Part B of Section 2 is the long essay question. This is more of like your typical 5-paragraph essay where you are going to be relying completely on your background knowledge of your studies of European history. There will be 3 prompts for the long essay question, which is likely going to take the form of a 5-paragraph essay, and you will choose one of the 3 options. It's recommended that you take 40 of the 100 minutes of Section 2 to write and complete the long essay question. Now, in terms of the way the test is graded and returned, results will be returned to you online in early July. You'll get a login, a password, etc. and it will take the College Board quite a while to grade all the AP tests and return them to test takers by early July. The scoring of the AP test, you will get a score for your performance that ranges from 1 through 5. 1 is the worst performance on the AP European History test, and 5 is the absolute best performance on the European History test. Scores of 1 and 2 are considered to be failing grades, and scores of 3, 4, and 5 are considered to be passing grades. Like we've talked about, this is a difficult test. I crunched some numbers over the last couple years, and what you've had is about 45%, students who got about 45% of the points on the AP European History test and above have been marked as passing the test. Our goal is for everybody to pass the test. This test is difficult. Nobody is going to just walk in, sit down without having done a tremendous amount of preparation and pass the test because the test is simply too difficult. That said, the test is also very passable because you need to get about a 45% or above to pass the test. 93% of my students have over time, over the years, have gotten a 3 or above and passed the test. It's very doable, but none of them have just walked in without doing a tremendous amount of legwork and preparation to prepare for this very difficult exam. Our goal certainly is for everybody to pass. Our further goal is for everybody to get 4s and 5s. Remember, a 4 or a 5 are the grades necessary for institutions that will give college credit for the AP Euro exam. These are the scores that are usually necessary to get college credit. So ultimately, our goal is for as many people as possible to get 4s or 5s. 3 is an excellent score. It's a passing score. A 4 or a 5 is an outstanding score. Now, in terms of our strategy on how to prepare in order to pass and to pass the AP European History test at a high level, the basis, the foundation, the backbone of success on the test is content review out of the Crash Course Review book. So remember, the Crash Course Review book, the content review goes from the Renaissance to the end of the Cold War. Like we talked about, we had started the year studying the medieval time period. I think it's worth your while to look briefly back over the medieval time period for a brush up on the traditional basis, systems, order of Western civilization. But in terms of the nitty-gritty review, the in-depth studying, we want to focus on the Renaissance through the end of the Cold War. It is highly recommended that you chip away at the content review as early as possible. In conversations with students who have scored on a very high level on this test, 4 or 5, they report back having read through the Crash Course Review book about 3 times, maybe even a little bit more, to the point in which they sat down and they felt like they had a really good grasp of the content that they could apply throughout the different sections of the test. Remember, when you're going through the review book, if there's anything that we haven't studied or anything you're unclear about or anything that you're fuzzy about in terms of content, you've got to look that up or ask questions. You don't want to let any of that content, you don't want to skip over any of that content or be unclear about any of the content. You want to have a real comprehensive review and basis of background knowledge to apply on the test. Let me know if there's any other questions that you may have about some of this overview that we've talked about at this point. And after this week, we will be going for some practice problems. Section by section, we'll be going through a review of practice problems to help us gain some experience and develop some strategies on how to best approach the test. All right, thanks a lot.